Joy said, my name is Gina Pratt. I'm with the Oklahoma ABLE Commission, used to be the old ABC board, for those who have been around a while. And I am the Too Much to Lose coordinator for the western half of Oklahoma. And for those who have been around a while too, it's the old Project Under 21. So I do what I do now. I do teaching, and I teach law enforcement how to go out and do those alcohol stings and about laws. And I teach schools, teach youth. I do a little bit of everything. So what we're going to do today, I'm going to go ahead and give you a little bit of background about alcohol and just something to think about before we get into the alcohol EDU. So why is this important? We think about this. You look at your youth, it encompasses everything. Alcohol, or the use of alcohol as a youth, can affect them both in their academics, athletics, overall health, home life, and social life. So it is important to address it. So why is 21 a good drinking age? Because the brain as it develops goes in different stages. And typically it's from front to back, or from back to front. And the front part is the last to stabilize. And so that's why we put that the drinking off until 21. And then the prefrontal cortex matures fully at the average age of 24. And this is a visual that will show you just a little better that go from 5 years to 20 years. You can see that as the brain matures and it gets older, the orange and the green shows it maturing up to 20. It goes up to 24 when you finally get the mature brain. And that's why we want to put off that drinking as long as we can. So because you're making bad decisions if you're not mature. You put alcohol on top of that, so you're making bad decisions upon bad decisions. And this is an example of brain activity. You can see a normal brain for a 15-year-old, and you can see an alcohol user, and you can see how it does affect the brain activity. So not a good thing. So heavy binge drinking alcohol drinkers age 12 to 17 compared to those who did not drink alcohol in the past month were twice as likely to have poor schoolwork, 4 to 6 times more likely to cut classes or skip school, and to show direct correlation to lower GPA based on the number of incidences of binge drinking. So age really does make a difference. Here we have a study, the University of Buffalo Research Institute on Addictions quantified increased risk of having adult drinking problems due to drinking as adolescents. The likelihood of alcohol abuse dependence increased by 12% for each year of the decrease in the age of the first drink. The likelihood of alcohol abuse dependence increased by 12% for each year of decrease in the age of first drink. So studies have shown that the longer you can delay alcohol, the better. So if you have a 14-year-old that is partaking in alcohol, they're 4 times more likely to become addicted to that alcohol, as opposed to someone, let's say that they're 18, then they're 4% likely to become that addiction. So the longer you can delay it, the better off we are. This is what the national drug alcohol scene looks like. You need to think, what I want you to take away from this graph here is that as something is more easily accessible, or if they think there's no consequence, whether through law enforcement or through parents, the more that they're going to partake of it. So you see here, the national drug scene, drug and alcohol. Alcohol is the #1 abused drug across the United States, and it is for Oklahoma for youth. It's because it's easily accessible and they don't perceive a high risk when taking it. And you see right below that, you have marijuana, and you get into prescription drugs, which are on the rise in Oklahoma. And you go on down through there. So if you look at the bottom, you see meth and heroin. So the perceived risk is very high that they're going to get caught. Perceived risk, bad things can happen. Perceived risk that parents are not going to approve. That's why it's down on the bottom part of that. So here's the underage drinking annual cost. This is nationally. That's a huge number. Look at that, $62 billion. And that takes in everything. So let's take a look now here at what Oklahoma's looks like. Here's Oklahoma's underage drinking annual cost. Still a high number. Look at that, $831 million. And once again, it's going to take in everything. It's the total cost for underage drinking. This number is for the 2010. You see it takes in medical cost and work loss and other costs as well. So we have what we call the Oklahoma Prevention Needs Assessment. We've got an acronym. The state loves its acronyms, OPNA. And it's a statewide survey administered by ODMH SAS to students that are 6th, 8th, 10th, and 12th. And it's during even number semesters. The survey measures risk behaviors such as violence and alcohol, tobacco, and other drugs that can result in injury and or impede in positive development among Oklahoma youth, and also evaluates risk and protective factors, which are attitudes, behaviors, and opinions that research has shown to be highly correlated with those risk behaviors. It's a voluntary thing, If your school is interested in participating, then you need to contact ODMHSAS. You can, and Terrence will have his contact information. Contact him at the end of this presentation as well. So this is what we got from, these are the new numbers that are out. They have not been released yet. This is the first seeing of them. They're going to be released here very shortly to the public. So this is according to the 2014 OPNA assessment. So you can see the 6th graders are 23.1%, 8th is 40.1, 10th 57.5, 12th grade 66.1. So looking at those numbers, when we compare them to the 2012 OPNA assessment, good news, the numbers are down. Those 4 numbers are down. Not significantly, but they're down. That's the good thing. That's the good news. Bad news is still not the best numbers. But what we're doing is working. We've got to keep working at it. Doesn't mean we've solved a problem, but we definitely are addressing it, and the numbers are getting better. We just got to keep working at it. And you'll see at the bottom, above the 4, the 6th, 8th, 10th, and 12th, the highest of those was the 12th graders with 44% having reported alcohol consumption in the last 30 days. So that's a high number, I think. This is broke down, and it's put. They answer these questions. It's anonymous as they answer it, and these are listed as the highest for that grade. So for 6th graders, they said that they got the alcohol or their drinking sources was mostly from home from their parents' permission, which I think's high for a 6th grader, 30.6. And they go on to say someone that they know, age 21 or older, 29.8, and then you got other ways that they could have got it, and then from home without the parents' permission. 23.6. Those are for 6th graders. So let's take a look now at the next grade here. For 8th graders, once again, it's from someone age 21 or older, it's 38.8. From home without parents' permission, 28.5. Other, you got your 27. And from home with parents' permission, 26.6. So let's take a look back here again at the 6th grade. You got it from parents' home, someone they know, 21. Here they got again from someone 21 and from parents' home. So let's go on to the next one. 10th grade. This is where they're going to see the drop. They're not bringing the parent into the equation so much. It's going to be the top 2 reasons are someone that they know 21 or older, 51%, that's a high number. Someone they know under 21, you got your 29.6, you got other. And then you get into the parents. With the parents' permission, 22, and then without parents' permission, 20.4. And then we get into 12th graders. And they say that their number 1 place to get alcohol is from someone that is age 21 or older, 61.7, high number again. Someone they know under 21, 25.2, and then from parents' permission, 20.3. It's also good to think about that at one time, alcohol always was in the hands of somebody that's over 21. So it works its way down. So as a parent or someone that's 21, you need to be diligent about what you do with the alcohol. Here's underage drinking trends for Oklahoma. Binge drinking. Does everybody know what the definition of binge drinking is? It's when males consume 5 or more drinks and when women consume 4 or more drinks in about 2 hours. That's a definition of binge drinking. And we know that youth are not getting together to sip wine and discuss Russian novels, correct? They're getting together to binge drink. That's the purpose of doing it. That's why they get together. And there are a lot of risks that are associated with binge drinking, and I just listed a few here. This is by no means a all-inclusive list, but number 1, it does include alcohol poisoning, sexually transmitted diseases, and unintended pregnancies. Teens say that they are 4 times more likely to involve themselves in sexual activity that they wouldn't have if alcohol had not been in the equation. So that definitely is a high number for that. Also, you got liver disease, you have problems at school, you have social problems, abuse of other drugs go along with that, physical and sexual assault, and a higher risk for suicide or homicide. And as I said, this is not an inclusive list, but it certainly picks up a lot on it. So here's some other underage drinking trends. These are for Oklahoma, what we see predominantly in Oklahoma. And I have my box of alcohol here I like to take with me, but I brought these up here. Probably one of the most popular that you're going to see is what we call pocket shots. If y'all can see that, pocket shots. These are they're cheap, they're flexible, and what youth can do is it's easy to put it in a pocket, put it in a belt deal here, and you can take it into school. If you get the vodka one, there's not much smell to it. You can go get you a Coke out of the vending machine, pour that in there, flush this down the toilet, and you're good to go. So those are very prevalent. You also see these a lot after football games, whatever. They're empty in the bleacher. They use these quite often. So these are very prevalent. Also very popular is Four Loko. I know some of you have seen these. Some of you may not have seen it. This is like a flavored drink. This has 12% alcohol by volume. It's got a lot of alcohol in it. It's a cheap drunk. These were banned at one time in Oklahoma. It was because of the additives that they had in it, the stimulants, but they've taken that out, and it's once again good to have for sale in Oklahoma. And something I'd like for you to think about, whether being a teacher or a parent or a caregiver for a person that's underage, is I'd like for you to be able to think outside of the box. Think about what you traditionally think what alcohol is. For those of us, I know when I was growing up in a small county in Oklahoma, our main thing was 3-2 beer growing up, and that was it. Marijuana was just making its way into schools. But packaging and drinking has totally changed for youth. I'm going to give you some more examples of trends for Oklahoma. A lot of teens are attempting to buy off the internet. They certainly do try that, but I also have here a map that shows you where it's legal and where it's not legal to purchase alcohol for alcohol. And you can see Oklahoma is one of the maroon ones listed on here, so you cannot do direct shipments of alcohol to Oklahoma. And this is one of the last trends I wanted to touch on, powdered alcohol. It is truly a powdered substance that they add water to make it into alcohol. It's that simple. It's been approved by the government. Has not made its way into Oklahoma, but I would certainly do a little researching on the internet and do a little more reading about that, because that's certainly going to be a problem. On their website, before it became real popular and they remarketed how they were doing things, they had put on their website that you could take this powdered alcohol and put it on your eggs and have vodka on your eggs, and they were just saying you could sneak it into different places and that you could also snort it. I could see that being very problematic for youth because, as we said, they don't do anything lightly. They're going to binge on things, so it certainly can be a problem. As I was saying, I want you to be able to think outside the box and what is alcohol and what may not be alcohol. So I have some bottles here. I wanted to be able to show them to you. And I'm just going to kind of show them around like this, because if you were to glance at them, would you know it's alcohol or not? And some may be and some may not be. And I'll pass them around and let you guys look at them. So I'm going to bring up my favorite one first.
No.
What do y'all think? It is alcohol, yes. So who would not look in on like your daughter, granddaughter's dresser and see this and not think it's like perfume or something, right? Mm-hmm. Totally. These are cold because they've been in my car, everybody. I'm sorry. It's not, I don't normally. I'm going to pass these around so you can look at them. Got this one. Glasses on so I can see. It's actually a pomegranate margarita, but it looks like kind of like an apple juice, doesn't it? Yeah. Joy, you just have this look of shock. They look like candles, don't they? They do. Decorative. This is what they call buzz balls. These are very popular. This has 20% alcohol by volume. You can see them in the liquor store, especially like around the holidays. They would stack them. They have red ones that make them look like a tree. These are very popular.
Yes.
Terrence, you're cheating. You've seen these. It's a sake. What is it? What do y'all think this one looks like? Like what? Did you say rum?
Chocolate milk.
Looks like chocolate milk, doesn't it? It is adult chocolate milk. Kind of looks like hairspray or mousse or something like that. It's Chardonnay. Who do you think they're marketing to on this one? Women. Yeah, Purple Plum Cosmo. So also think about the marketing. When they're marketing this, bright colors, ease of concealment, this is marketing towards kids. Yeah, so this is towards women, girls, right?
Juice box.
It looks like a juice box, doesn't it? It's Chardonnay. Chardonnay in a box. Oh, you guys get this one. Y'all know that. It's margarita. Margarita that you freeze, like a popsicle. Mm-hmm. No, it's alcohol. It's a type of wine. And look, it also has a straw that's included with it. Yeah. And what about this one here? May know what that is? This one is called Suck and Blow. So what they do is they freeze it, they make a jello out of it, and truly they have the girl on one side, the boy on the other, suck and blow. That's why they call it that. And the kids have found out they can save money and refill it and put the jello back in there and redo it again. Those are real popular too. I think this one's pretty. What do y'all think? Don't handle it too much. It may spray open on you. It's been in, like I said, in the back seat of my car. This one's a beer. It's made in Oklahoma. It's called Native Amber. I think it's a really pretty can. That's why one of the reasons I like it. But yeah, it's beer. I know you guys have seen these. It's almost frozen. This is a Dailies. It's a frozen lemonade. This one's got 5% alcohol by volume. So I played a little trick on you guys. All of these came out of a liquor store. None of them are Low Point. They're all out of a liquor store. Like I said, one of my favorites is the one that looks like the perfume bottle. If you take the lid off the top, it's actually a shot glass too. So we had somebody point that out to us in the class. Yeah. So let me bring that up here and I'll show the camera.
Am I a bad person if I like some of these?
No. Our problem is if you know all of them by heart, yeah. So you can see here that the shot glass comes off and it makes a shot glass. Do y'all have any questions on anything I went over? Kind of make you think a little more outside what could and couldn't be alcohol, and it's really an eye-opener, I think.
And these were Oklahoma liquors?
Yeah, this is everything you get in Oklahoma liquor store. Not all liquor stores, but I think I mostly got these out of Byron's in Oklahoma City. Mm-hmm. So I would encourage you, too, if you're not familiar with the alcohol, there's nothing wrong with going into a liquor store and just doing a little browsing and looking around. You'd be surprised. It changes a lot. The marketing changes, the packaging changes, but it really will surprise you what you'll find in there. And as far as what you think is alcohol and what is not. So that's me. As I said, I've got the western half of Oklahoma. My counterpart, Eric Smoot, has the eastern half. That's our